Have you ever wanted to make a heavy dubstep track that sounds something like this? Then look no further, because in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can make a really heavy dubstep drop here inside of Ableton. So without talking much longer, I'm going to go straight into the DAW and get started with this tutorial. And here we are in our DAW, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set our key here to 150. And I'm going to start by constructing first our drums. So I'm going to select here my drum rack. And we're going to navigate into my sample folders, and I'm going to use some of my favorite samples here, which are the Horizon Dubstep drums. So now I'm going to navigate into the Horizon Dubstep drums, and I'm going to select and choose some drum samples here. I want a very dry, very clean drum because I'm going to post-process this later. I'm going to create a super basic dubstep drum pattern. It's as basic as it can be, and I'm gonna add a second drum rack now, which is gonna be for my cymbals. I'm gonna create a nice little ambience for those drums here. I'm adding a lot of cymbals because I want to add variety here. So I'm gonna lower the volume of these crashes here to maybe like -18, so it's very subtle in the background. So now I'm going to add some post-processing here. So the first thing I'd like to use is some shaper box here, just to accent a little more the hi-hat tone. So I'm going to create a curve like this and set it to 1/8. I'm going to add a very subtle amount of reverb. I'm going to add some glue compression to sort of make the quiet parts stand out a little bit more. I'm gonna add just one more track here, which is gonna be our sidechain trigger. Just gonna be right under here. I'm not a huge Ableton expert, so my key bindings are a bit off. And this is gonna go no ins, no in. It's gonna go out into our group once we make it. So now that we have our drums, we can start with our actual dubstep drop. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add here around 4 or 5 MIDI tracks here, because this is gonna be our bass group. So I'm gonna group this by pressing Ctrl G. Perfect. I'm also gonna start by creating our sidechain here. So I'm gonna go again with the shaper box. Sidechain input's gonna be from the sidechain trigger. Output to group number 4. I have this the sidechain via MIDI input. Let's see if this is working properly. If not, then I messed something up. So now the first thing that I'm gonna think about is what style of drop do I want to make? And I know I want to make a very heavy dubstep drop, so I'm gonna start by having a call of response here. So I know that this first hit is gonna be my call. It really bothers me, assuming. And I want it to be a very, very wide bass. I'm gonna go here into our nights folder here. I'm gonna see what kinds of basses I can find. It sounds like a perfect starter bass here. So I'm gonna duplicate this. So now let's add our second bass here. Again, let's search and see what we can find from our nights presets. This is a good layer bass to have in the background of the sound, so I'm gonna keep that there, and I'm gonna add a background element here running during the whole drop. Now let's add our main response bass here. Again, another Serum. Something fast. And now I want to sort of switch up the pattern so it doesn't sound the same. So I'm gonna have two responses here. So I know I want to this ending be a narrow bass, so let's start with that one. Let's add the narrow bass here. And I'm gonna add some modulations and some more nice little things. I'm gonna have it be on this last section here. I'm not sure. And I want to add a growl to respond to this first break here. So it's gonna be, so the drop pattern is very simple. It's gonna be the first call, the call to action. So the A, the response is the B. Then we go A B, A B C, A B D. I'm gonna explain it better in a minute now. So let me just get my final bass here. I want to growl, so let's see what kind of growl do we have here that we can use. Maybe the scary growl. I'm not a huge fan of how the modulation sounds for this drop, so we're gonna adjust that also. And it sounds very, very. I'm gonna disable one of the oscillators because I'm gonna post-process this growl and I'm gonna make it completely crazy. So I know that I don't want this. I only want this part. And trust me for a minute. So let's listen to just the raw Serum drop that we created. And we also need to add the modulation into this one. So I'm going to enable this. It's already on the pitch bend. Perfect. Ah, that sounds sick. That's perfect. That's just what I was thinking about. So I already gave you guys a tutorial on post-processing, so if you want details or want to understand what I'm going to do now with the post-processing, definitely check out the video that's linked here. Definitely check out the video up here. But let's go into the post-processing. I'm going to start with the growl since it's the one that needs the most work. So I'm going to add a few plugins that I always use. I'm going to change the tone quite a bit because I want it more deep, I want it more aggressive. And it sounds very quiet and not what I imagined for this track. So I'm going to add a few effects here, like starting with the auto filter. I'm going to set it to 24 dBs. I'm going to show you a cool little trick here on how to make a Skrillex growl. I'm going to group this. I'm going to link a filter here to macro number 1. I'm going to set it the minimum to 70 and the maximum to 1000. And this is going to make it so much more easier to create a automation clip here. So, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to... these little dots are so annoying. they show up. 70. And drop it to something like this. Ableton is so annoying to work on sometimes. I really don't like creating automation clips in. So now how do I make it crunchy? How do I make it sound very Skrillex-ish? 3 OTTs. That's all you need. Let's add an OTT. I'm gonna add it inside of this so that I know that it's from this. And you're thinking, Raphael, why does it still sound muddy? It doesn't sound Skrillex-ish yet, because we still need something very important. So I'm gonna adjust here the automation clip 1 minute. I'm gonna add a frequency shifter preset that I have here, which is called Artifacts, which is gonna go before the auto filter. And this should be creating some artifacts. It's just so quiet, it makes together in the track that you can barely feel it. But one way that we can improve it is just by adjusting here our this is the fun part about post-processing and sound design is just I think a phaser would also work really good here. I'm gonna use the old phaser because I'm not a huge fan of the newer updated Ableton phaser. And there's something happening here as well inside of the preset that I want to reduce, which is this. There we go, that's the sound that I was looking for. Now I'm gonna add some rhythm shifter here, because this is gonna make the sound a lot more darker. That's perfect. And now we gotta make it really fat, so I'm gonna add a fat rack here. So now if we listen to it in context, I'm gonna add again the sub just to see how it sounds. I'm not gonna censor it all the way out. I'm gonna clean it up and I'm gonna improve it even further. But for now, it sounds good. So now let's go into our Nero bass, which is our second. I'm gonna add a EQ to this. Saturator here. I think I'm gonna add exactly that. So I really like how it sounds with some modulation, so I'm gonna do that as well. And again. Maybe not go all the way up. And clean up a little bit more the high end here, because now I'm gonna do some Can we add any automations to the pitch bend? Of course we can. Of course we need to select the correct serum. Now let's play around with this bass. And this gave me an idea for a repeat on the drop here. But let's post-process this quickly. I'm gonna clean up the low end on this one because I don't want to use the low end of this preset here. Because that's what we have this preset for. which I sort of let's post-process our final bass now here. Again, following sort of the same post-processing tree that was being used. Remove. I want to change the tone a little bit but I'm not gonna use the rhythm shifter. Instead, I'm just gonna use a phaser to change the tone of this. Now I'm gonna add some post-processing here to the whole drop, and this is gonna make it sound fuller and more complete. So I'm gonna show you guys now what I'm gonna do here. And the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here, gonna group all of these into a group called basses, first of all, because I'm gonna add a second group here inside of the sidechain, so let's call this sidechain. I'm gonna add this Pro Q3 and the mid side setting. I'm gonna cut all the way from around 200. And now I'm gonna add a glue compressor, but it's not gonna be compressing, it's only gonna be boosting and saturating, and you guys are gonna see now what I mean with this. So let's find and add the glue. Now let's let's add another synth element here. Again, I'm gonna go here, and instead of using the Nights preset, I want to now add a preset from Virtual, because Virtual has some amazing effect presets. So if we go here to the background sound. You guys are gonna see now because we're gonna duplicate this. And let's have this stretch to 5 bars, 4 bars. Let's duplicate this, stretch it out, have the second one be an octave high. Have this have an automation change here, a switch up with the tone. So it's gonna start this first half here. It's gonna go up. And let's completely switch up here this bass as well. Should be here. I'm gonna be honest, since the video is ending and I'm at 8% battery on the camera. This video wasn't scripted, this video wasn't planned, this video was just, I want to make a dubstep drop and I'm gonna record myself making a dubstep drop for you guys to see the power of Black Lotus Audio. We use our Nights presets, we use our Horizon drums, and we use some virtual presets as well, just to see the power of Black Lotus Audio here inside of Ableton. And this is complete madness. Like, this drop just completely went full hard. We did some post-processing on this as well. So, wild. What do you guys think? I want to hear and know your reactions to the dubstep drop, and if you guys are going to be checking out Nights. So I want to hear your thoughts and comment down below. Will you guys be checking out Nights and be making dubstep drops as heavy as this? And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep the channel alive and active. As always, this was Rafael from Black Lotus Audio. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.